Now, today also, the quotes from Mize. I've talked about his fastball in the past and what I think of it from watching, and again, just watching on television, which doesn't make me an expert. But I really liked how he talked about some of the changes he's been making and what he's seeing, hoping his fastball will become more of a weapon, because then we got something to talk about.
Yeah, to read that whole quote, Casey Mize said today, this is from Cody Stavenhagen. Casey Mize said today he's getting around 18 inches of induced vertical break compared to about 15 inches in the past. Casey Mize quote, "We just think the fastball up can be more of a weapon," and said it should pair well with a splitter, but Mize also talked about pairing it with his curveball. So
Yeah.
I believe today's live BP was his first live BP. I don't remember if he threw one last year before he got shut down. Definitely first one of this spring, though.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He threw against live. I think he threw against a couple live batters at Comerica Park before they shut it down, though. I'm pretty sure. Maybe he did, but no. And here's another thing I noticed about him too today. It could be just the way his, and I wrote about this on Motor City Bengals. Before he came to the set, like this, his hands are now lowered a little bit, and he was pitching. Looked like he was pitching from the stretch exclusively, but it looked like his windup was a little different. The way he was planting his foot down, and one of the things he had talked about was getting a bigger glove because the analytic department told him to. And he's still. And I went around. I looked around the locker room just to do a quick glance, and most pitchers have 3. Him and Maeda both have 4. So if you notice here, look how when he comes to the set, you'll see here in a second. And notice where his glove is right there when it comes to the set, right there, the belt. Before in 2022 was higher set, and you can tell right. I mean, again, this could be just him during batting practice. Could not be his full set, but it looks completely different. It looks his pitching, his windup, his follow through command looks a little different. Or excuse me, his mechanics look a little different. They've been tweaking it a little bit. So, but yeah, he was talking about his glove. Anyways, getting back to the glove, and he's still breaking them in because with a bigger glove, it allows him to hide what he's going to throw. And so him and Maeda both who throw splitters. There could be a reason for that. So anyway, but yeah, if you look at his windup for 2022, and I posted it on the article, you can tell the subtle differences there. And with that fastball, that kind of ride, what's going to happen is you throw that split finger, and that's just going to change the eye level so quickly and so drastically. So that's a good thing to have. And you can tell, like, yeah, he's going to get used to that. Somebody mentioned too that Hinch yelled at him, like, hey, you get in trouble for that.
Yeah. The pitch clock.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to your point about the fastball, I mean, the 15 inches of IVB is generally considered kind of the dead zone. You want either higher, 18 to 20, or lower, like 12 or below would be more of a sinker. And 15 is just kind of exactly where the hitter is expected to be, which is kind of what we saw at times with Mize's fastball.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to hit what he said, it's going to help play the splitter play up because of the differences between, the movement there. But also it's kind of, he mentioned the curveball. That's kind of the traditional Astros model, right? Is a high spin, 4-seam fastball at the top of the zone and a downer curve. That's kind of, it got in vogue so much that pitchers don't really do it as much anymore. But if they think it could work for him, I'm sure that would be helpful. And we've seen, and we've heard Mize talk before. He's a smart guy about all this stuff. He's into this stuff, and so he's going to try to maximize himself. I thought my initial reaction watching this was that maybe he'd shorten his arm action a little bit. The delivery looks a little smoother to me. I think there's still a little bit too much stress on his arms. It feels like his legs get out front, and then he's kind of whipping his arm around. But it looks better to me. And honestly, it's just nice to see him up pitching at full strength, right? And what looks to be pretty good velocity.
There's the range of outcomes, obviously, it can go anywhere, right? He's had that's still a major surgery. We don't know if he's just going to be mediocre, if he's going to attain the same level we saw in his full season, or, as I've speculated about in the past, are we going to see the guy maybe we've never seen, the fully healthy Casey Mize. Because if we do, and if that fastball is playing up and they find better use of his splitter, man, if we see a level of Casey Mize that we never really saw even pre-draft, then hell's coming to breakfast for the AL Central. I mean, that could be pretty nice. So that's a legit possible outcome. So that's really one of the big things to watch this year.
Especially if you combine that with that kind of spike curve he has too. I mean, there was like a slide that spikes. They've classified, I think, as a slider too, according to Baseball Savant. If again, this is all making sure that he stays healthy, but the key thing is right there. I mean, it's staying consistent with that same kind of movement with your split finger looks exactly like your fastball coming off your hand, and so that right there is such a great way to get those strikeouts right numbers up there. Go up, go down with just precision, and then you'll be fine. And so I just think if you can go ahead.
I'm sorry. Todd 63, hats off to him. He got the Josie Wales connection on Hell's Coming for Breakfast.
I was curious where that was from. Yeah. I've heard of Outlaw Josie Wales, but I did. Yeah. No, I we talk about this just about every week, but it's even with Mize being, and it looks like that fastball. I mean, that's Javi Baez, but it looks like that fastball has some more zip to it and carry through the zone at the top. But no matter what, we really don't know how many innings he's going to throw. That will ultimately be, a big factor in the season. If they let him loose and he goes 120, 150 innings and just pitching well, then yeah, things could change drastically. But that was a nice breaking ball right there. I don't know if it's a slider or the knuckle curve or what, but it's and you talked about, Raj, I think earlier, is that at this point in spring training, the hitters are well behind the pitchers. They've hardly seen any live pitching, and the pitchers have been warming up and they're getting close to their ideal stuff. So it's tough to judge too much, but I don't know. It's been fun seeing these videos. The other day, what did we get? We got Brent Herter. We had Skubal. Who else was? Olsen was out there pitching, right?
Yeah. Englert
pitched.
I guess should be noted that Baez did take him deep, I believe, in this first at bat of his.
Nice.
Was that talked about on Twitter? Because I don't remember seeing that.
I did make sure to make a comment asking the Baez haters what they thought of this right here. I can't tell if it was gone. I think it hit the seats.
That's tough to tell.
But I do like that he did come back and made Javi chase, and I guess that's Javi being Javi. But that fastball right there was good to see. Yeah,
and by the way, I think the splitter's coming back slowly but surely. It's going to be incorporated in that. But as I asked Hinch if a splitter has a lot of strain on the arm or to cause a lot of injuries, because that's been kind of a known myth, but he said no. So that's the pitch right there. But yeah, I'm not going to make too much out of the hitter. Like, just again, it's just good to see him out there. Period. I mean, last year he shut it down early and just was kind of over it, but this year it's coming out and there you go, just dealing. It's just batting practice again. It doesn't mean anything till Saturday. Like, even Saturday doesn't mean anything